So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
By 3% or more. At least in the county right now, and so you come in full county there. So there you see, but that's states, yeah. So in counties, in 58 counties.
I will tell you the other thing that's really striking here is we look at how Donald Trump won and how Kamala Harris lost. I was struck, Hoda, when you were going through the board with Steve Kornacki just a couple of minutes ago. I'm thinking, where is there any battleground county where she outperformed Joe Biden? Is there a single battleground county where she actually did better than President Biden did here? So I checked in with a source. You may know him, Steve Kornacki. There's a couple, the suburbs of Atlanta and like one county in Pennsylvania. But overwhelmingly, there is not a place where she did better than Joe Biden in this race.
Your big 2 or 3 takeaways that explain the redness of the map from coast to coast.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, first of all, in the gender gap one, yeah, absolutely. We're looking at, it looks like about a 20-point gender gap, which that's a big gender gap. It's about 10 points for Harris among women. It's about 10 points for Trump among men. But in the context of polls that showed this might be a 35-point gender gap, and especially in the context of, I think you mentioned it in that last segment, the Iowa poll the weekend before the election that was suggesting here's this, thought to be deep red state suddenly in play because of this seismic move of women, especially senior women, against Trump. That got everybody thinking, boy, is that going to be the story in Iowa? Is that going to be the story everywhere? And we just don't see that. That's not popping up on this map. I showed you those suburbs of Philadelphia. That's exactly the kind of place you would have looked for that. So I think that's part of it. And the Hispanic vote, I'm giving it to you in the context of Pennsylvania, but I think more broadly, the Hispanic vote and this working class, sort of multi-ethnic coalition, that really is what this looks like for Trump that he pulled together here. The implications for that extend far beyond the battleground. And just take you through some of these. I think Willie mentioned it in New Jersey. This is a 5-point race in a state that Joe Biden won by 16 points. If this holds, this will be the closest New Jersey has been in 32 years. Check this out. This county here, Passaic County, the city of Paterson, New Jersey is there. Passaic, New Jersey. You're talking about a 45% or so Hispanic county. Democrats just automatically win this in New Jersey. Look, it's red tonight. Donald Trump looks like he's going to carry Passaic County. I think Willie mentioned Hudson County. This is a massive, massive county. You've got cities here like Union City, New Jersey, that's 80% Hispanic. This was a 46-point win for Biden that comes down to 28 points. New York State, again, just about a 12-point, 11-point margin there for Harris in New York. That's cut in half from where Biden was. These New York City gains for Donald Trump, double-digit gains. Some of those boroughs even bigger than that, even getting close to 20-point Trump gains there. Look at Illinois right now with 91% of the vote in. Harris is winning Illinois by 4 points. Compare that to 4 years ago when Biden won it by 17 points. This is what this sort of multi-ethnic working class coalition has helped Trump do in these states. It doesn't give him a single extra electoral vote. He still loses all of these states. But what it does do is look at the national popular vote where it stands right now. That is a better than 5 million vote advantage for Donald Trump. And if you're thinking, as in the past, California is going to come in late. It's going to be a huge, massive Democratic landslide there that's going to overturn all of this. When Trump starts racking up, the kinds of improvements he has in huge blue states like New York and New Jersey and Illinois. I'll give you another one. Look at Maryland. Okay, 23 points, landslide for the Democrats. Well, 4 years ago, it was 33 points. Again, Trump, that's a pretty big size state there. That's a double-digit gain for Trump right there. Those kinds of gains, without even gaining an actual electoral vote, have given Trump a kind of advantage here so far in the popular vote that eclipses anything he got before in 2016 and 2020, enough to withstand California. I think if you're the Trump folks and you want to win the national popular vote, you're feeling very good that you'll withstand California. You'll end up with the popular vote, and we could talk. Does he get an outright outright majority, that won't be decided for a while, too. He could easily win it without getting a majority, but totally different than 4 years ago when we're talking about, 7 million vote gap nationally, 4.5 points, all of that. This is the effects of the coalition Trump have been felt well outside of the core battleground.
How did Donald Trump win the U.S. election?
This is a magnificent victory for the American people.
Going into this, the opinion polls were super tight, and a lot of the chatter was about how long it might take to get a result. In the end, it was all over pretty quickly. So what happened? Well, basically, Trump did well in the swing states. He won Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Not only did his base turn out for him, but Trump seems to have picked up more votes from other groups too, like young people. This poll suggests he got more support from voters under 30 than any Republican candidate since 2008. He also seems to have done better than expected among people of color. He's on track to win 1 in 3 of their votes, so chipping away at a traditional support base of the Democrats. And look at the numbers for Latino men. They voted heavily in favor of Trump, which is basically the opposite of what happened in 2020 when Joe Biden had a big advantage with that group. Now, before the election, there was a lot of talk about Kamala Harris's strength among women voters and her advantage on the abortion issue. But when it came down to it, neither of those factors seemed to have played out as strongly as her campaign had hoped. Check out this other exit poll. Harris got 54% of women's votes and Trump got 54% of men. The thing is, that's about the same split as the last 2 elections. So there wasn't this big surge of women voting for Harris that Democrats were banking on. Now let's talk about the economy. That was always a top issue. Trump's pitch to voters was basically, are you better off now or 4 years ago when I left office? And the election results seem to indicate that, for a lot of people, the answer was pretty clear, especially when you consider that high inflation has hurt people's spending power over the last few years. Kamala Harris is going to speak to her supporters at some point on Wednesday, but the Democrats are already dissecting the results and trying to figure out what went wrong. One big question they're starting to ask is, should Joe Biden have stepped down sooner, and would that have made a difference?
Vice President Kamala Harris chose not to address supporters in D.C. last night.
This is time-lapse video you're seeing right now that shows the crowds at Howard dwindling after Trump won the battleground states of Georgia and North Carolina. As the results started pouring in and former President Trump took a commanding lead, the celebratory mood shifted at the vice president's watch party. Her campaign co-chair thanked the crowd and delivered the disappointing news that the vice president would not be addressing them.